I want to give a quick overview of the crypto market and what to expect in the coming week. So, starting from this weekly charts, you can see on the weekly chart that the current weekly candle, which is going to close in the next 12 hours, today being Sunday, is currently engulfing an engulfing candlestick pattern, engulfing an inverted armor candle pattern, which is a bullish candlestick pattern combination. So from this, just looking at this on face value, I would expect the next week's candle to continue the impulse from here and probably push higher. But we can notice this resistance level on the weekly charts right there, where it looks like the price of Bitcoin currently is at the moment. So from this resistance level, if we go into the daily time frame, we should see more clearly that Bitcoin is currently now struggling with this resistance level. However, I would still be more bullish on the general markets, more bullish than bearish at this point because of the look on the weekly time frame. So it really looks like if I change this chart to a line chart and I take off the EMAs, I'm really looking for the possibility of a kind of a cup and handle kind of pattern where we got this push down, we got a push up, we get a push up, and then from there we get a smaller push down before we see continuation upwards. So I'm looking for that cup and handle. So this is going to be the cup and then the little bit of an handle. Then this is going to be like the break, the neckline of the pattern, and then the moment where we get that break is going to get another impulse upwards. So I'm looking for something like that. So let's take, for example, I don't know how deep this is going to go, but from this basis it should not go below the previous low of the base of the cup. So I'm looking for something where from the struggle of this resistance level we could see a little bit of a push down here before we see that continuation on the Bitcoin chart. And then on the weekly time frame is also going to reflect the same story of the next week continuing the engulfing situation that has happened here, continuing and taking it up, taking the bullish momentum further from here. So that's the look on Bitcoin now. That's what I'm going to expect, because it looks like we're starting the month of January quite bullish. We're starting the month of January 2025 quite bullish. So I would generally expect higher. I would expect higher price targets, possibly coming back up to this all-time high to take off this candle week right here. That's very, very possible. We could get something like this. We'll come back up to that week. So I'll basically just be looking for that little bit of a push down, that deep in the general market, to pick up some spot buys and some coins, or position in some swing trades to capitalize on the next leg up. And if you look at this exact same scenario, it also aligns well with a 5-wave kind of pattern where from what the little bit of pump that has happened in the past week is going to be the establishment of the first wave, and then if we get a breakdown from this resistance level from the weekly charts, we're going to be establishing the second corrective wave before we get the third wave, which is usually the most impulsive wave, and then probably a fourth and a fifth wave. So we really, really want to find an opportunity to capitalize on this third wave, because it's usually the most impulsive wave that comes in a kind of like a pattern like this. So basically I'm really looking for that opportunity to buy Bitcoin, buy some other coins, set up some swing long positions, some leverage trades when the market pushes down a little bit downwards. So as far where exactly we could get that bounce from, it could be, there's no single support level that I can point out that this is going to be the most likely place we could get a bounce from, because there doesn't seem to be any strongly established support level here. However, the general plan is that I do not want to see any push down below the previous low. So if I'm looking at it from the EMA's kind of strategy, I will be looking for something like, I'll be looking for a bounce at the area of this 12 and 21 EMA, which is going to be at the 0.382 Fibonacci retracement level. So just to give a guess, I would really guess that this level at the 0.382 Fibonacci retracement level is going to be the most likely position for Bitcoin to bounce back up if we get a push down from this weekly resistance level, because we are seeing the confluence of the 12 and the 21 EMAs, 12 and 21 EMAs at this exact area. So I will look for something, I will look for potential signs of a bottom or signs of a reversal at this area. Let me just highlight it right here at this area. So this is where I'm going to be setting my alerts on Bitcoin. I'm going to be looking for what happens what the reaction at this specific level is. So that's the quick look on Bitcoin, basically looking for a little bit of push down to form that kind of like the handle of a cup and handle pattern, or the second wave of a 5-wave impulsive structure. So that's the look on Bitcoin. And then I've already I've already made a little bit of a plan on a lot of altcoins that I would love to pick at a lower price. I would love to pick them up to kind of capitalize on the same idea as I have on Bitcoin. So taking a look at Ethereum, for example, this will be my Ethereum charts. Yeah, Ethereum, for example, I'd really love to see Ethereum also push down a little bit more into this 12 and 21 EMA support levels. Let me just make that more clear. The 12 and 21 EMAs are a very important set of support and dynamic support and resistance level in the market, because they just work really well, and they kind of give you that sense of where to find support, where to find resistance. If you look at the major trend, you see that the moment where we broke above that 1221 EMAs, we got that push up, and it held the trend all the way up until it eventually got a break below, and then we kind of add this a little bit of a deviation below the EMA levels, and then now we're back above the levels. So I would expect kind of like a push back down into that EMA level to get support, as we've seen support here and support in multiple instances where we break above the EMA. So I would expect that to hold that support as well, and to facilitate that push higher into further resistance levels. So basically the plan for Ethereum now is to pick up some spots, some spot positions, or some swing plays, or whatever it may be at this level, this support level confluence with the 12 and 21 EMA. So this is going to be a great place to place a swing long on Ethereum. You could have something like this where you have your entry there, the stop loss a little bit below the resistance level, just to give a little bit of a room to breathe, and then you'll take profit. The first profit level obviously at the first resistance level, and then wherever we head from there is up to the market to decide. So that's a look at Ethereum. I'm aiming to pick up some Ethereum at this $3,500 level. And moving on to Solana, kind of like the same story on Solana as well. We've got this break back above the 12 and 21 EMAs. I think at this point you all should just find a way to put this 12 and 21 EMAs on your chart. So it gives the most clear support and resistance level, especially on the high time frame, like the daily time frame, the 4-hour, the weekly time frame, and whatnot. So the same story on Solana. I would expect a push back down to kind of that level before we see that second impulsive move, which is going to be the biggest one. So there's going to be a lot of opportunity to capitalize on some sweet gains on this one. This one has a potential of like a 30% price pump, so that's going to be a nice one. If I could set up some buy orders around this area, put a stop loss somewhere below, and aim to shoot for that next resistance level. The same story cuts across the general markets, kind of like the same thing on Pepe as well. A push back down. You can see how nicely the 12 and 21 EMA held as support in multiple instances after we go a break above. So since we've got this deviation below our back above the 1221 EMA is basically a lot of altcoins, I would be expecting that push back down to the level, hold that support, and then from there to facilitate the next impulse in the market. This is really what we want to catch. This is what we want to catch. We've missed this, which is fine. That is just the first leg of an impulsive trend. That is going to be the first leg. So we still have the opportunity to capitalize on the third, the fourth, the fifth, and however high or how far it could go. We could keep looking and aiming to capitalize on what could come next. So generally in the general market, I'm just looking for that bit of a retracement, a push back down into this very sweet, nice support levels. I'm going to be taking a lot of swing trades, a lot of sports trades, and things like that. On FTM, I think FTM kind of bears the same story, but FTM is currently still below the 1221 EMA. But if you look to the left, you see we've broken back above this area of resistance. So I would expect a push back down into this resistance, this now support level on FTM, and then from there I would expect higher price target to wherever I want to go to. We'll be looking at the specific targets when the entry criteria is gonna get met. So when we get the push back down, we push into this level, we're going to be looking at potential trade plans and where to set the stop loss, where to set the take profit, wherever it may be. But for now, we're just kind of projecting and waiting for the plan of a retracement in the general market to pick up some trades. So story on FTM, come back to the support level. If you want to see the specific price of the support level, you could just pause the video to look at the price scale here to check what price is it for. FTM is going to be 0.718 support level. Let me just quickly run through the rest. I'll go around kind of like the same story, back above the 1221 EMA, a push back into the level, which is facilitated a bounce back up. So basically, like the general story across the market is kind of like the same thing. Everything is setting up for a long. This one is VRA, same story, push down to support, and then from there we could have that catalytic push back up. This is Polkadots. For Polkadots, we're so close to the 1221 EMA because we've not had a chance to give it that distance. So for this one, I would say that it's quite possible we'll come back below it briefly to come back into this 0.618 Fibonacci retracement level of from the low to the high, and from here we could pick up some buy trades to keep pushing higher. So the general story is just that the weekly time frame across the entire market is bullish. The weekly time frame is bullish. We are getting quite bullish candlestick patterns on the weekly time frame. You see this one as well. We're getting this engulfing candle after we've got a paid bar, a pin bar, inverted armor, doji star, whatever you want to call this. But you get the general story. We are getting that kind of a bottom and a reversal setup across the alt markets. Moving into Solana, kind of like the same story as Solana. This is an engulfing candle after we got this smaller bullish candle. So story on Solana is kind of the same thing. It's kind of the same thing across the general market. We're also seeing that push back above the 1221 EMA, a push back down into that level. Probably let me look at. It's going to be like a 7 to 8% push back down into into support levels, and then where we get some nice reactions at the support levels, we're gonna look for opportunities to capitalize on that next highly impulsive move, that impulsive pump we are looking at. So the story cuts across the general markets. LTC, Litecoin, kind of the same story. Push back down into supports, and then from there we're picking it up. So these are my support levels I'm currently showing, and then that's generally basically the general story on the charts. So I feel like the start of next week could just be, the first few days of the next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, probably Thursday as well, could be red days to get that retracement back into support level, to pick up some, to position and pick up some orders for, you know, a capitalization on the next impulsive move. So that's kind of like a story on the entire market. So basically, just to summarize once again, we are looking for that little bit of a push down just to set us up for positions and trades to capitalize on a potential high potential pushback up scenario, because we are seeing bullish patterns, we are seeing bullish signs of strength on the high time frame charts, the weekly charts, the monthly charts, the daily charts. Everything looks bullish. So even though Bitcoin is at a resistance level, I do not see um, any significant chance of coming back into that 89k level, because it just doesn't look like um, there could be that much weakness to come back into the market, because we are seeing signs of strength. So even if we get a reaction from this resistance level, I suspect it doesn't go much low into the charts, and we just get that little bit of a push down for a retracement or whatever, a second wave of a 5-wave structure, or the handle of a cup and handle pattern, and then from there we just shoot it to the moon. So that's the look on the charts. That's a quick update on the plans for next week and whatever may come after that.